Hello everybody and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. In today's video we're going to be doing a flight seeing mission over Venice, Italy, which I think will be really cool and hopefully very pretty. Here is the mission brief. It says Eleanor Montanari and her mom were inspired by a travel magazine feature to book an aerial discovery flight tour of Venice. Give your passengers the full VIP treatment and make this flight a memorable experience. Sounds good. We can hopefully do that. Here is the profile of what we're going to be doing. We'll be taking off, flying out over these landmarks, and then coming back into land. Should be easy enough. And hopefully a cool, pretty flight over Venice. So let's go ahead and accept this mission. And here we go, flight seeing mission. This is actually my first time doing a flight seeing mission. I expect it to be very similar to the first flight missions, but hopefully more beautiful than the first flight missions were. All right, welcome to Venice, Italy. Here we are on the ground. It is an absolutely beautiful day to be doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and pre-flight the airplane. To save some time in the video, I will leave that out in editing, and I'll pick up with you guys when it's time to start the airplane. All right, welcome aboard the Cessna 172. I have done the pre-flight inspection. Everything looked really good on the airplane. So we are going to be ready to board here momentarily, but before we do that, what I like to do is always knock out the before starting engine checklist. That way we are ready to board as soon as our passengers get in. So let's go and knock out this checklist first. So brakes, test and set. I'm actually going to release the parking brake, check the brakes for pressure, and then reset the parking brake. So brakes are tested and set. Electrical equipment is all off. Everything over here basically is what we're looking at. It's all off. Avionics master is off. Fuel selector valve is on both, and fuel shutoff valve is on. It's pushed in. So before starting engine, checklist is complete. Next will be starting engine with the battery. Before we do that, though, let's go and request boarding.
Everything's fine, Greta. You can initiate boarding.
Roger that.
All right, we've got our passengers on board. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. So first, throttle come open about 1/4 inch. Right there will be good. Mixture is at idle cutoff. Standby battery arm. Normally you would test the standby battery, but this test light is not operational right now in the simulator. So just go ahead and arm the standby battery. Engine indication system, check. No red X's. That's all good. You do have a cold engine, so we're going to prime. All right, so we can go ahead and turn the master switch on, and we'll go beacon and the nav lights on as well. And we are going to go ahead and check this all off because we do need to prime the engine, but I do it as a flow because I know the procedure. So let's go ahead and do it. So it's just fuel pump on. Mixture goes full rich for about 5 seconds. Good. Back and fuel pump off. That's it. We're ready to start. So prop area clear. We're clear on both sides. And then we'd yell out the window, clear prop. And here we go.
So, Captain, time to tour all the best spots, don't you think?
Cool.
For today's flight, you're guiding Eleanor and her mom over our charming local town of Venice.
Oil pressure looks good.
Seatbelt fastened?
Volts,
Then you're all
amps
set.
look good. Everything looks good. It's a good
Captain,
start.
make this moment one to
And
remember.
can turn on the avionics master as well. All right, that checklist is complete. Next will be the before takeoff. Before we do that, we're gonna go ahead and get everything booted up here, and we'll do some pre-taxi items first as well. We'll lean the mixture. Right about there will be good. And let's see if we can get the weather. All right, looking at the EFB here, I'm not seeing any METAR or TAF information. And then I go to frequencies and there's no frequency for weather or anything like that. So the only thing we have is basically to look at the windsock and I'm assuming that the altimeter is just going to be 2992. You can see the elevation is 13 feet, and we're well within 75 feet of that, so that's fine. So that's good. We could say we've got whatever weather information we could get. So let's go ahead and announce our taxi. Release the parking
Lima
brake.
India Papa Victor traffic Cessna India. November Tango Uniform Charlie.
And we're just taxiing right over here. It is a grass runway, I believe. So we'll do a soft field takeoff technique on this one.
Thanks for taking us aboard. I'm Eleanor.
Hey, I'm Federica, Eleanor's mom. Pleasure to meet you.
We'll stop and hold short here, and we'll do our run up and stuff here. All right, holding short. Parking brake set. And we'll go ahead and look at the before takeoff checklist. So parking brake set, flight controls free and correct. Left aileron's up, right one's down, right one's up, left one is down. Looking behind us, elevator up, elevator down, rudder right, rudder left. Flight controls are correct. Let's check them, make sure they're free. Controls are free and correct. Flight instruments check and set. Make sure there's no red X's or anything like that. I don't see any, so that's good. Flight instruments are checked and set. PFD barrel, again, I think it's 2992 is set on both. They're both standard pressure matched. That's good. So standby altimeter is good too. Standby flight instruments all look good. Fuel quantity check. Fuel quantity, I think we've got enough for this flight. We are on both on the fuel selector, so that's good. Make sure we'll go full rich. Fuel selector is on both. We just checked that. Elevator trim is set for takeoff. So throttle will go up to 1800 RPM. About 1800 RPM is set. And we can check the mags. Go to the right. Good drop, smooth running. Back to both. Back on both, good recovery. We'll go to left. It's a good drop, smooth running. Back to both. We are on both. It's good recovery. Fuel flow looks good. Oil pressure is green and stable. Oil temp looks good. Vacuum's in the center of the green. Fuel quantity looks good. Volts and amps are good. And temps are showing nice and even across the board. That's all good. So we've checked all of that stuff. Annunciator panel is clear. And throttle, we'll check idle. Make sure that she idles smoothly and doesn't die, so that's good. And then we'll take it back up and idle between 800 and 1,000. That'll be good. Tom frequencies are set. They're taking care of that for us, so that's fine. Nav frequencies, not worried about that. Transponder, we'll want to make sure we're squawking VFR, squawking standby. So 7,000's VFR in Europe, so that's good. And we're squawking altitude. So transponder is set. Flaps 10 degrees selected and indicating for departure. And we'll get the lights and brakes and all that stuff. So before takeoff checklist is complete. Next will be the en route climb checklist. All right, and let's do a departure and emergency briefing. So we're going to be departing runway 23, so we'll back taxi down runway 5 and depart on 23. And we will do a soft field takeoff technique. So we'll hold the yoke back, let the airplane's nose come up off the ground, and then we will basically just fly it off the ground and into ground effect, let it accelerate, and then climb out like normal. And then for after takeoff stuff, we're basically just going to be flying on the pre-planned path that they have laid out for us. So that will be good. As far as the emergency briefing goes, if we have any kind of loss of power while we are on the runway, we are going to abort the takeoff. Also, we want to make sure that we're developing proper airspeed and power while we're on the takeoff roll. If we're not, we'll also abort in that case. As far as a loss of power in the air, if there's remaining runway ahead of us, we'll land on that remaining runway. Beyond any remaining runway ahead, though, depending on whether it's a partial power failure or total power failure. If it's a partial power failure and we have enough power to make it back to the runway, then we'll do that. Otherwise, for a total power failure, total engine failure, anything below 400 feet, we're going to land basically straight ahead or 30 degrees either side of the nose. Above 400 feet, we could consider going to either side of us, basically 90 degrees either side of us, but not until we're above 800 feet would I consider making a turn all the way back to the airport. So that is my departure and emergency briefing complete. At this point, we would ask them if they have any questions. and I don't think they'll respond, so that's fine. Departure and emergency briefing is complete, and the before takeoff checklist is complete. So we're ready to go. Let's go ahead and make our announcement, release the brakes,
India, Papa Victor, traffic Cessna
get
India.
our lights on since we're going to be on the runway.
Takeoff, runway 23, straight out departure.
And like I said, we're going to be back taxiing here, so
A bit nervous, but I'll be fine. Can't wait to see the view from up here.
all right, Mr. Rich, flaps are set, fuel selector is set, trim set, lights on. All right, making our U-turn right now on runway 23 and soft field takeoff. We're just going to keep it rolling here. So I hope we're lined up on the runway here. Full power is coming in. That yoke back. It flows good, oil pressure's good. There's our airspeed. Keep it rolling. All right, just hold that nose right up off the ground a little bit. And she flies right up off the ground. Nice and easy. Fly it out in ground effect. Like so. Once you get enough speed right there,
Not
we'll
sure if
start
I'm
climbing
actually
out.
ready. But no choice now, huh?
You'll be fine.
It's quite alright actually.
All right, climbing away. We're getting a good climb right now. We get to a safe altitude, we'll bring the flaps up. We've got plenty of speed for that already, which is good. And it is absolutely beautiful out here. All right, we're at a safe altitude and a safe airspeed, climbing well. Flaps are coming up. And flaps are up.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the San Marco Square.
All right. As far as en route climb, it's just airspeed throttle mixture. Oh, we gotta fly around San Marco Square. All right. Still trying to get things set up a little bit here. Wow, that's pretty. And then as far as the cruise checklist, just trying to catch up on this stuff. It's just power, trim, mixture. Yeah, and I've been managing that the whole time. So cruise checklist is complete. That is something, I must say. Absolutely beautiful.
Fantastic.
I agree.
Exactly what I expected. Bring on the awesome pics of this scenic tour.
Gotta slow it down a little bit. There we are. Look at that view. Absolutely beautiful. There's some cruise ships. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, I've never been to Italy in the real world,
I don't feel afraid or dizzy. What a nice surprise.
but if you guys have and you've been to Venice, let me know how accurate this is. This is absolutely gorgeous. I'm assuming this kind of open area is probably the park that they're wanting us to fly over. And they'll probably want us to slow down and everything again once we get there. All right, we got to stay within 0.4 nautical miles. There it is down there. I guess we'll keep it on the left side this time, since I'm already in a position for that. All right, I think about 2,000 RPM will do it. Try to maintain 1,000 feet.
I've never seen anything like that. It's rolling out the red carpet for us.
Yeah, I must say that is very, very pretty. Awesome. All right, on to the next place. Looks like we're gonna fly really close to the airport. Well, here's a pretty good view of the airport that we're flying right by. Very, very nice. Yeah, 2 big runways there. All right, we made it here. Bring 10 degrees of flaps back in. Slow it down. And we'll fly around this landmark for them. Don't want to descend though. We're not quite there yet. There we are. Gotta watch our speed and altitude here. That is so cool. Got a little bit too far away, it looks like. I think it's actually back behind us where we're circling.
Captain, can't we fly a bit closer, please?
I'm working on it.
I'd really like to capture more details.
All right, that was pretty cool.
Lima India Papa Victor traffic Cessna India.
We're gonna start headed back
Tango
towards the
uniform,
airport
Charlie
now.
5 miles, north 900 feet, inbound to land runway 23.
All right, flaps are coming up. Bringing some power in. That was pretty neat. All right, we're lining up here on a final approach for runway 23, and we need to be slowing it down. We are below 110, so 10 degrees of flaps, gas, undercarriage, mixture, power, seat belts. Everybody's strapped in. Yep. Switches and speed. We need to slow it down.
500.
In the white arc, flaps 20. And we'll go to put full flaps in there. And we'll do our best for a soft field landing here. So we're gonna just keep that nose up and protect it as long as possible. Sometimes even in the flare right above the ground, I like to add just a tiny bit of power to really grease it on and help keep that nose up. Looking good. Power's coming to idle. Bring it down into the round out, then let it settle into the flare and just hold it off. There's a little power, a little bit of power, little power. There we are. Power's to idle. We're pulling that nose up. Lots of aerodynamic braking. I haven't even touched the brakes. It's a beautiful soft field landing. Touchdown maybe wasn't the smoothest, but the technique was there. That's what's important. All right, we are gonna clear the main grass strip here and hold short right here, just short of the ramp. So flaps, identified flaps coming up. Transponder stays at altitude. Will squawk VFR. Mixture is lean for taxi. Lights as required. We'll turn off the landing in the strobe and reset the trim for next takeoff. After landing checklist complete, we'll announce
Back to the airport, guys.
Lima India Papa Victor
Taxi to
traffic
park.
says
You wanna fly
November
again?
Tango Uniform Charlie
wait to do
is
it again.
taxiing to parking.
Loved every minute of it from start to finish.
That
Thanks,
is,
Captain.
you are welcome. That was great to hear. All right, back on the ramp. We'll let the nose down, watch our wingtip, and we'll park her right here where we started from. A little more power here in the turn. All right, that'll work. Go ahead and stop
You
it
turned your
here.
passengers into flight addicts.
Parking
haven't
brake
you?
set,
Anyway, I can see that anxiety has turned
and
into
we'll go
excitement.
taxi light off, and let's go
Well
ahead and shut it
done.
down. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. We'll shut it down. Awesome. We'll see how we did. Sightseeing quality, I'll admit it wasn't the best. Probably get an A with our bonus. Almost got to the S tier. And we made a few bucks, which is good. Cool. Little boost in reputation. Nice. And maybe a level up. Sweet, level 37. Well, you guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tour over Italy. I know I did. I thought it was very, very cool, very pretty, and a lot of fun as well. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will talk to you all someday soon. Take care.